What's up? It's your favorite Northern Belle, aka it's your girl Joy, and welcome back to another episode of So Hear Me Out the podcast. So last week we were talking about the soft girl era, right? And how my struggles to be committed to that affect me, right? So shout out to all the soft girls and the girls who listen and the guys who listen. Appreciate y'all. This week, we're going to talk about the other half, right? Of being a soft girl or being in relationships, period. So hear me out. My man, but not losing myself, right? So in this day and age, right, when you're dating, the dating scene, from what I hear and what I gather from the seasoned saints, is that the dating scene has changed so very much, right? In the age of Tinder and Bumble and all this other stuff, let's be very honest, everyone's looking for a quick hit and the way out. The few who are looking for something serious have a hard time navigating through that. And if you're not a social person, or the, you know, the bait at your job isn't looking too good, or your church isn't looking too good, it feels like I'm gonna be single forever, right? In this season of my life, I'm learning a lot about who I am in my relationships, my romantic and my platonic friendships, right? My relationships. So I have gathered something that I think everyone goes through in their relationships. And if it's just me, that's fine. I'm okay with being the oddball out. But in relationships, it is very easy to lose yourself. So, what I mean by lose yourself is when you meet the person who you're with and it's a healthy relationship or even a toxic relationship, but you feel like this is your person and you guys are supposed to be together, it is easy to become absorbed in your relationship, so much so that you always have something to bring to the table when you're meeting with others outside of your relationship that has to do with your relationship. If that was confusing, then what I'm trying to say is that when you are in a setting where your partner isn't around, you bring up your relationship. And that's perfectly healthy. That's fine. But it seems like your identity is the pairing of you and your partner. I, for one, and I honestly, the whole reason why this episode is because I recently felt like, okay, girl, you lost it, bring it back. Right? So I'm naturally a very social person. I'm very spunky, spontaneous. I like to meet people, debate with people. That's natural for me. And my partner is the polar opposite. Very inside, very in his own space, limited interaction with people unless it has to be that way or it's his core group of people. So I feel like I started adapting that. And excuse me, I will say for the most part, it has helped in some ways, right? So when I see things with all these negative things going out in the social scene, especially in the 7-5, it's just like, ooh, glad I was sitting at home staring at my man play the game, right? Glad I was sitting at home watching Netflix or staring at Milo. So I've become so absorbed in my relationship that I was like, dang, I'm not even feeling like myself anymore. And I had a talk with him and I just understood. I wanted him to understand that it wasn't that I'm not happy with our relationship. And it's not that I don't think he likes our relationship. I don't like my relationship with myself. Right. So when you get into relationships, sometimes, you get the happy weight and yada, yada. And if you're not someone who is disciplined or you don't have a very good support system, the things that you used to love to do, like working out or reading, writing, all that other stuff, it can just go to the wayside. And what the things that used to make you, love yourself and more attracted to yourself, you start to forget that and you kind of fall out of love with yourself, which can increase your insecurities. It can have a negative effect on your relationship. So for me, I decided that it's time to take a turn, right? Creating a space where I can do something for me, right? And not feel guilty. That's a big part too. When you're in a relationship and you live with your partner, or, you feel like this is the one, you you get boyfriend, girlfriend guilt, right? You get partner guilt. It's kind of like parent guilt. It's the same thing. You feel like you're not doing enough, you're not spending enough time, and when you try to do something for yourself, you feel guilty, and you shouldn't. When you're taking care of yourself, you're doing exactly what you need for your relationship to survive and thrive, right? When you're not forcing yourself to be in front of people all the time, and you're not forcing yourself to talk to this one person all the time, or to make sure that everything you do, you're involving that person, you're doing what's best for you. So I think what it came down to for me were a couple of things um, that helped me kind of ground myself and get back to who I am. And I'm going to share them with you guys. So, number one is setting boundaries, right? So, as you guys know, I have content on TikTok, on Instagram. I do this podcast. So setting boundaries, allowing myself to be creative alone, right? We spend a lot of time not really together, but in the same house. So creating boundaries, right? Saying no to certain stuff that my partner wants to do and not feeling guilty about it. Of course, guilty feelings at first, but once it becomes a natural thing, hey, I'm okay with doing that, right? Establishing a plan with your partner, which is healthy for your boundaries, right? So if it's, hey, on Thursdays, I'm gonna hang out with the girls and you could do, you with the guys, or you could sit at home and do whatever you want to do. That's my boundaries, right? Another boundary is I'm not a physical touch person. I'm not a touchy person. I will give a little bit of tidbit. In my previous relationship, I didn't feel secure in my role. So I felt like I had to be touchy feely, but it ended up showing in the end I am not that person. And because I'm more mature now in this age and in this relationship, in this season, I feel more secure with who I am and what I bring than worrying about any outside influences. So I'm not super touchy, and I had to tell my partner, hey, I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be touched like that. I don't want to do that. Could you back up some? And it's a hard thing to say, because when your partner's love language is physical touch, it's just like, ooh, how can I love you? And that's how they show love. When my love language is acts of service or gift giving, right? Or words of affirmation, I prefer me to see it than to feel it, right? Don't touch me. So creating a open space to say, hey, I don't want that right now. And your partner accepting it and being supportive is something that I think helps 1,000,000%. And it'll just help you guys, one, stay true to yourselves and allow the other to realize that you're a pair, but you're also a person. You're a partner. You're not property. Another thing is, on your end, just of the relationship, staying, focus on you, right? Shifting focus onto you, being true to you on your end. So it is so nice when a man brings flowers for no reason, right? When they get your favorite snack, or fellas, when your girl pays for your haircut, right? Things like that, or pays for the new game that just came out. Things like that are so great when you're not spending your money, or you're not the one who has to make these things happen. But doing things for yourself makes it even better, right? So I know for me, I love shopping. That's my thing. And I'm obsessed with it to a certain point, to not to where I have to buy something every time, but I'm obsessed with walking around in different environments and looking at stuff. I'm nosy. So going to the store, by myself is something that is good for me. Shifting the focus on me also is, I love long, luxurious showers, right? I love the body scrub, the body oil, the body wash, the bar soap, all of that, right? That's my thing. That's my jam. And I know that for men or certain men, in and out, gotta go. My hygiene routine could probably be 2.5 hours long if I have that much time. But, setting aside the time to focus on me, right? Shifting the focus to me. I know what my partner would like, right? But I know my partner would love for me to take care of myself too, for me to be my number one priority. I think that that's something we're learning and we're working on shifting the focus to yourself. And I know he likes certain stuff, so I want him to take care of him, right? Take care of yourself, worry about you. And, I'm here. And it makes you more attractive when you're handling your business, right? Also, your friends. Now, I'm going to talk to the friends on this one. Do not make your friend's relationship their number one priority, right? Because if they're in this relationship, their relationship should be a priority on their own, right? Invite your friends out. For the most part, if I'm ever saying no to something, it's not because my partner doesn't want to go. It's because I don't want to go, or I already have plans, so I can't go. It's not that he's telling me, oh, I don't want to go to that, so don't go. No, I've already made these plans. So I think when friends say, oh, I didn't invite you because I knew you'd be with oh boy, or oh, I didn't want to bother you because you'd be like, your girl be tripping, right? Things like that makes it harder. And then you can kind of create these, feelings in the relationship that don't have to be there, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to tell you guys the stories of how in previous relationships, I was always the bully, right? I was the one who was like, oh, plays no games. You can't mess with me or my man. Like, and that's how I came across when wholeheartedly I didn't care. I did not care one bit about where you going, what you doing, who you with. Because for me, it's just we've established these things, right? You like to hang out with these people. They're not my group of people. If I have to go, I'll go, but enjoy your time. So, when friends say no to things or give you or take away your voice, right? It's hard. And you feel like, dang, I can't even hang out with my group no more. It's not that you can't, you're not allowing yourself to. And yes, if you don't live with your partner, or even if you do live with your partner, communication is key, right? So if your friends don't know that every Thursday you guys go bowling for date night, then obviously it's going to seem like whenever they want to do something on Thursday, you can't go because your relationship is messing it up. No, just tell your friends, hey, bro, or hey, sis, I can't do this because on Thursdays we go bowling. Y'all are more than welcome to come and get your own lane, or you can like make it into a group thing, but don't make it, oh, I can't go because my girl want me to go bowling. No, you like going bowling too, so let's just make it happen. I also want to give a sidebar. This is not a sub. This is not something that happens in our relationship. We don't go bowling like that. So it's just something as an example. And, there is no perfect relationship. I think that's one thing that I tend to keep in my head, right? It's easy to compare yourself to other people, especially when from the outside looking in, every friend group has that paradise couple where it seems like everything's going right, right? They don't argue, they don't fuss, they don't fight. There's no way that these people could ever not be in a lovey-dovey state. And we don't see everything when in everybody's relationship. So I think that understanding that no relationship is going to be perfect and a relationship is work, right? Now, it shouldn't be abusive, manipulative, hard work. Like, you feel like you're going literally into war every time you open your mouth or open the door into your place. But it's work. You have to consistently be there, be here, right? And if you only have 20% energy and you gave 15 or even 10%, you're giving more than enough when you're showing up for somebody. It's a lot harder when that person's in your space every day, right? Showing up for someone can be so taxing on your spirit that you're just like, bro, I can't do this anymore. And knowing that not every day is going to be this bad, and there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. There's only there's no perfect, like, ever. Never ever have I seen a perfect relationship. And in high school, I was in college sometimes too. I was so big on goals, right? Oh, I want to be goals in my relationship. How you want to be goals but you don't want to communicate? How you want to be goals but you have, underlying feelings that you don't want to share? How you want to be goals but you don't even like your partner? Oh, am I reading? How can you be goals if you're not willing to accept that person where they are and see the potential, if any, and grow with that person and not force your timeline on them? Compromise, compromise, communicate, compromise, communicate, communicate, compromise. Those are the two C's in the relationship well, there should be three C's in the relationship, right? Communicate, compromise, and commit, right? Once you say, okay, I'm going to be in this relationship, commit to it, right? Do the things that make you happy, but also make your partner happy, right? You want to make sure that you're understanding what your partner needs and what your partner wants, as well as what your wants and needs are. And yes, they change. Just like we change our clothes and change our underwear and the seasons change and the time changes, you need to be understanding and willing to accept the fact that your partner's needs are going to change and so are yours. And if you're not willing to open up and communicate that to your partner, well, then you don't need to be in a relationship anyway. But you need to accept that. Change is hard, but it's inevitable. That's the perfect saying, right? Change is hard, but it's inevitable. So don't lose yourself and don't forget who you are. Just, help someone adapt to who you are, right? And let's be clear, saying that's how I've always been is not a reason, it's an excuse. So if you've always been this way, it's okay to understand that you might have to curb that if you want this person in your life. And it might be something to help you or help someone else understand you, right? Why do you dip your fries in the ketchup instead of just like mustering it all over, right? Because it's how I've always done it. And that's perfectly fine. It's just a question. And don't be so defensive when people ask you questions. I know I'm guilty. People ask questions all the time and I'm like, why? My first question, it's not even an answer at this point. It's why. That's my rebuttal. I'm off tangent, but yes. Making sure that you're staying true to yourself, you're communicating, staying committed and compromising and, always open to learning. You are communicating with not just your relationship partner, right? But your friends too of what's going on, and setting healthy boundaries are perfectly fine ways to stay true to yourself, right? And remembering who you are. If you feel like you've forgotten who you are, take some time, but communicate. Don't fall away from that person or give them the silent treatment and, manipulate their minds. Just say, hey, I don't feel like myself and I just need some time. It's hard. It is hard, but it can happen and it'll make beautiful things happen. I know people who are younger than me and married. I know people who are older than me and not married at all because they just don't want to do certain things or they don't want to have to answer to anybody. And it's fine. But I just think staying true to yourself is like the golden key, the golden ticket to staying in a healthy relationship, right? Staying true to you, because the reason why that person likes you is because of who you are, right? And not the interview candidate, not the representative that they met, but who you are, right? After, I'll say 3 months of dating, who someone is. That's when they start showing up. The representative starts fading away. And you start to learn, right? So if this is something that you're going to commit to, then definitely stay there, set healthy boundaries, communicate, know who you are, and allow people in, are my ways of not losing yourself in a relationship. If you guys are in a relationship or you guys are, got a cute little boo or something on the side, let me know how you plan on staying true to yourself in the comments. Let me know what are some relationship red flags, what are some relationship green flags, and how do you make time for yourself? It's your girl Jora, and it's been real kicking it with you. I'll hear you guys out for another one. Peace out. Bye.